Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Yes, think, debate, talk. It's about free speech. And folks, what we want to talk about is SHTF because it is happening out there. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, the title of this video is not going to attract people unless Jolene comes up with a super cool thumbnail, which she probably will. No one's ever going to think about this video beyond just a few of you, just a few thousand, 5, 10, or 15,000 people want to watch it. Someone sent a really great email to Uman. Uman forwarded it to me. Uman answered it, and then he forwarded it to me, but it was from MLK. Now, here's the deal. In this country, in this time, folks, and the whole planet, across all time, the most dangerous man is the thinking man. That's what separates and distinguishes us, human beings, regardless of where on the planet, race, age, or whatever. Our large brain and, well, also our 10 digits, right? Our fingers' ability to manipulate and do things, but our brain has allowed us, has provided us the ability to think beyond just ourselves, to become powerful, to influence others in meaningful ways, right? Like an animal, it's concerned about, what do I eat next? What do I screw next? And can I run fast enough to get away? Thank you, Ted Nugent, for that. Human beings think past that. Human beings think beyond just food and sex and can I run fast enough to get out of danger? We can plan for our future. Yes, squirrels save nuts. Okay, brilliant squirrels. We do a little more than that, right? Prepping isn't just saving food for one winter. There's so much more to this. But the reason the thinking man is dangerous is he can talk to others and they will hear, think, and add what they just heard to what they know, and they become thinking humans and debate and talk with others and share. Human beings have always been an incredibly powerful networking organization. A network. The Prepared Mind Network. Yeah, that's right, the network. We've all become a network. Embedded in all of that, folks, is this idea of individual thinking. Even though I hear people here saying it and here saying it, over there, behind me, in front of me, last week, I'm sure I'll hear it a month from now, people thinking on their own, having their own ideas. And I have a chance to learn from the experiences of the past, and I can look forward to the advantages in the future to thinking. This isn't the prepared pantry. It's not the prepared pistol. It's the prepared mind. I want people to think. And I say, you don't have to agree with me. Argue with me. I want that. I don't want insulting dicks, and I don't want trolls, and I almost used some words that would get this video destroyed. I don't want that. I don't want people to spout off a bunch of talking points from the political leftist communist screwballs. I want people to think. So I will take the position, folks, of my own opinion. And sometimes I'll take an opposing position and I'll argue it for the sake of arguing it, to cause people to think, to come up with their own conclusion, to debate it. That is the point of this. What is the best way to prepare? Well, I've got my way, and I tell people, depending on where you're at, your age, your gender, your belief system, your religion, whatever the fuck it is, your geographical location, the environment, how much money you have, who lives around you, the sparsity or density of population, whatever. That's why we all get to make our own decisions. We should be making our own decisions, our own intelligent decision, our own thinking intelligent decision. Who opposes that? Those who want to control the thoughts of everybody. Those who want to take the scope of the thinking mind and shrink it, not from the expansive, unlimited universe, but down to you have 2 or 3 options, and those 2 or 3 options are sanctioned by the powers that be. They want you to have only a couple of options to think about, and those are the options they give you, right? Do you want brown sugar on your bowl of rice, or do you want white sugar on your bowl of rice, or no sugar? Those are your 3 options. And you're like, but isn't there a whole vast array of food out there? No, there's not. There's just a bowl of rice. Brown sugar, white sugar, or no sugar. That's your chop. That's your choices. But wait a minute, what happened to beef and chicken and pork and turkey? What happened to those options? What happened to putting it in a can and calling it Spam? No. Those are no longer food options. You get a bowl of rice with brown sugar, white sugar, or no sugar. This isn't just about food, folks. This is about all of humanity, all of time, prepping, being prepared. Now, yesterday I talked about the Constitution. I talked about the United States of America, right? The wings of liberty have been clipped by the direct, negative, traitorous, treasonous actions of those in power in Washington, D.C., both elect, appointed, bureaucratic, and otherwise. They are doing all they can to destroy this country. Once again, folks, I can argue my perspective. I can argue someone else's perspective, or I can make something up altogether and just argue it just to see what people say. I want you to talk, to think, debate, come to your own conclusion. And I want you to be able to share that with other people. You could say, you know, I listened to this tall Swedish Marine knucklehead. I listened to him and he had an idea and it pissed me off. He's so wrong. Good. You're now thinking and you came up with a better idea for you and you're sharing it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, or your network on Facebook where you're sharing it with hundreds of people. Thank you, MLK, for writing. And he says, writing a new constitution would be the worst mistake ever. I agree, sir. And guess what? You and I won't be able to stop it if that comes to pass. If that comes to pass, where they decide they're going to throw out the old, and then we get in a big old fucking civil war, and then they try writing a new one, that's going to suck. Folks, writing the Constitution was no cakewalk. They wrote Articles of Confederation. They flopped around with that hundreds of years ago for almost a decade before they came up with the U.S. Constitution. You know, it was successful, but the powers that be didn't like it. The rich didn't like it. The poor, people all had to, and they bitched and fought about it and came up with something new. And they're like, well, that fucking sucks. Let's add the Bill of Rights. And then the first thing courts start doing is interpreting shit and going, look at all the power we got. We're going to fuck with people. And, you know, that pinnacle of freedom, pinnacle of freedom started going down basically right away. 250 years later, we went from pinnacle of freedom to fucking outright tyranny, where the government says, we've got a medical emergency, which was fabricated, made up fucking nonsense. And that allows us to suspend the entire Constitution. Are you out of your fucking minds? Yes, they are, folks. The wings of liberty have indeed been clipped. Not saying they got the eagle on the barbecue and they're spinning the rotisserie. But read the tea leaves, folks, and take a peek. All right, take a peek and think about it. Now, let's continue. I want people to think. That is the whole point here, right? Thinking is critical. The banking masters, the corporate masters, the aristocracy that still exists, that's been around for centuries, they all want us silent. They want you to shut up. You are not allowed to think for yourselves. The mainstream media, the fourth estate, the media, newspaper, right, print, broadcast, meaning radio, television, satellite, now the internet. These were all venues in which the people, real regular people, participated in, influenced, and brought in ideas. because it used to be the idea was put the ideas out there and let's duke it out. Let's debate it, right? Intellectually debate ideas. And logic, reason, common sense, intelligence, experience all come into play to formulate the best ideas, the best that are hoped in an imperfect world, right, MLK? In an imperfect world where people fuck things up all the time, we would still get the best of the worst, I suppose. And again, freedom's gone down, but they don't want that anymore. You and I look at what's happening out here. We look and go, what the fuck is this all about? What do you mean there's more than two genders? Whose idea was that? 1/10 of 1%, but they're all a bunch of eggheads with an agenda, and they get to tell the rest of us? Yes, because the super bankers, super corporations, and the aristocracy, that is the ruling elite, who are starting to come out from under their rocks, and you see their influence and their power that they still have, and it's becoming naked. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want to give you the new information. The evidence of that is everywhere, folks. They want you silent. If you cannot speak, you cannot have an idea, you cannot share an idea. This is why all the censorship on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, this is why you're silenced at work, on the street, and even in your own family, you're not allowed to have an idea. Now, it used to be that if you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table and Uncle Merv spouts off some socialist idea, well, there ought to be a safety net to help people in case of an emergency. He wants to sound big-minded and generous and smart. And the table used to turn to Uncle Merv and say, would you shut the fuck up? Who's going to pay for that? Well, the government will. Where does the government get their money? Oh yeah, from me, my taxpayer. And are you guaranteed to get your own money out of the system? Well, not really. It goes into a general fund. And yeah, shut up, Uncle Merv. Socialism sucks. All you're doing is taking from people with and giving it to people who don't. You're empowering the most ignorant people by enriching them. You're encouraging, with socialism, absolutely encouraging lack of productivity in all factors, including thinking. Shut up, Uncle Merv. But at least he would be able to speak. And then the debate around the turkey table would happen, and people would come to a conclusion in their own mind. That's why I think it's a good idea to be able to listen to idiots as much as you can take, at least. But the power elite don't want us talking. And now they're using social media to silence us, to say, stop. You can't say those words. That's misinformation. You're not allowed to speak. We're going to punish you. We're going to punish you by taking you off of social media. No more YouTube, no more Facebook, no more Instagram, no more Twitter. No more talking for you. Take all their shit off of Google. Take all their shit off of Yahoo. Take all their shit off of even DuckDuckGo. No speaking for you. The reason is, folks, is Joe Rogan. I'm going to use Joe Rogan as an example. He is 10 times the power of CNN. One little man, one little bald man, Joe Rogan, very influential. He is 10 times a satellite network that was created, supported by the CIA. 10 times them. How is that possible? It is the power of the human mind. It is the power of the prepared mind. Prepared, thinking. You can't be prepared to do anything. You can't even be prepared to face the day without intelligent thought, unless someone else does all your thinking for you, like the mainstream media, politicians, bankers, corporations that tell you how to think and silence you. You're no longer yourself. If you're not thinking, you're an automaton. You're their robot bitch. Not a bitch, not a robot. Certainly not a robot bitch. Are you, right? That's why I say, are you prepared? I ask that question It's about asking questions. MLK says, the fake question intended to fool us into thinking he is smart. Speaking of me. Really? I'm asking you to think. They are silencing us, folks, because we are so powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. Because I am now talking to thousands of you and telling you to think for yourselves. And you will go out and I tell you, share, text, email, smoke signals, carrier fucking pigeon, right? Tie a note to an arrow made out of marshmallows, because that way it doesn't hurt anybody when it lands. Yeah, an arrow made out of marshmallows. Don't shoot any real arrows, folks. See, I'm not allowed to say shit because I can be construed as a dangerous comment. No dangerous comments, not for me, but spreading the message, folks. People are like, you're just doing that trying to make yourself more famous and more popular and increase your subscriber count. No shit, Sherlock, you figured that out all by yourself? What is my agenda? What is my mission? What is my stated goal? Get people prepared. What does it take? Time and money. You guys, by watching the videos, supporting me on Patreon, by seeing the commercials on YouTube, by shopping at thepreparedmind.club, it creates an income stream that helps support our efforts to expand the channel, reach more people, get people thinking, to engage in the debate and making smart conclusions. You see, it's all very neatly working together. So yeah, MLK, I'm telling you, Michael, I want people to think and argue with me. My ideas are not perfect. They're just my ideas, my thoughts. But I want people talking. They want to silence us. So there is no discussion about beef or chicken. They want you to think rice with sugar, rice with brown sugar, or rice with no sugar. And that's all you get to think about. Yeah, there's juicy, delicious hamburgers out there. There's fucking bowls of ice cream. There are salads made out of sprouts and microgreens that you can grow in your own windowsill that are 100% chemical free because you grew them. If you didn't hear that on this channel, would you know about it at all? Minus Nikki and minus the rest of you green thumbs out there. I know P and you and others that you guys are very smart and you know your greens, but there's a lot of people who have no idea. And I am still learning, obviously, right? But the idea, folks, is for you to spread the word. The way to fight back, the way to preserve our Constitution, the way to preserve our republic, the way to preserve our nation, the way to preserve our fucking sanity is to think. Now, it does hurt. And I talked about this with Crispy Bacon early today. Which hurt is you talk to people and they go, I don't want to talk about that. That's giving me a headache. It's because they've closed a mental pathway inside their head. They've closed it off. They've severed it. They've destroyed. They're ignoring. They've neglected parts of their brain. And so it hurts them to think about this. It hurts them. Literally, it physically hurts their head. It confuses them. And that's what's happening with these left-wing, fucking retarded, moronic, stupid, beyond sophomoric, illiterate fools coming out of college. That if you say something, they call it a microaggression because it hurts them and they get mad because you're challenging what they've been instructed with, i.e. indoctrinated, brainwashed. It hurts them. And so they run away from it. It hurts them, and sometimes fight or flight. You either flight, run away, or fight. They turn around and get mad and scream and yell and attack you physically, violently. Because they cannot think. Because those parts of their brains have either never been used or they've been shut off. They're not thinking humans. They're reacting humans. And that is precisely what George Orwell talked about in 1984, where they talk about reducing the human language so that thoughts don't come from here. They come from here. They're guttural. I'm hungry. Give me food. I'm sleepy. I must sleep. And that's all. I have to turn the bolt this way. That's my job. That's all they want them to do, is have a very small vocabulary, a small mind, a small mission, a small purpose. I don't want that for people. I want people to be literally dynamic human beings, thinking, not just prepping, but thinking in all ways of their life. Years ago, I thought, well, you know, shit's going to hit the fan. What happens after that, John? Okay, we're all prepared, but what comes after SHTF? Well, how long is SHTF? Well, what are the things that can occur in SHTF? Right? And I just kept thinking and expanding the idea. Yeah, we need to go beyond and through and past and look past. Yeah, I'm like 10 years. And there's stuff coming after, folks. But what form of government are we going to have? 5 years ago, if I proposed to you the idea that the Constitution will be absolutely removed, and they're going to come up with a new government, you'd be like, the fuck they are. Well, what do you think they're doing now? Precisely as we've discussed, they're trying to destroy the Constitution. There are no rules for the rich, powerful, and government employees. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and they won't get prosecuted. You stand up for yourself, you get Kyle Rittenhouse. You stand up for yourself, you get McCloskey'd. Right? You go to court, you get railroaded and accused of a crime that you didn't commit, even though there's laws that allow the very thing that you did. Self-preservation, Second Amendment, Supreme Court cases. They're ignoring all that and coming up with an instance where the government can say, well, fuck, you don't have that law. They're destroying everything piece by piece while giving themselves permission to do whatever they want. Yes, the country can be taken down. It is a possibility. And we're going to face that in the future. That's the far future. There's the near future, and then there's current, what's happening today. I would like you to think about all of it, if you wish, or one specific piece, if you wish. I ask questions. I take positions. The purpose is to make people think. And if you question the narrative coming out of the mainstream media, big social media, big tech, if you question the narrative coming from the politicians and big corporations and bankers and the cabal of super elites whose mouthpiece is Klaus Schwab and others in Davos, if you question them, they want you to believe you're wrong, bad, maybe even stupid. I say if you question them, good for you, because you'll see through their bullshit. There's only two genders, right? No. They want you to believe there's 100. It's designed to destroy our culture, our morality. If you throw all the pieces of the chessboard on the ground and then throw all the checkers and then all the Monopoly pieces down on the ground and then stomp them into dust, how are you going to know what is real and how are you going to play the game? They're taking all the games, folks, and just turning them over and destroying them. That's what they want. It's not what I want. That's what they want. I want us to be able to make rhyme and reason and go, that's a chess game, that's checkers, and that's Monopoly. Right? Let's play the game with some fucking rules. Let's use our own brains to think about what's happening. That's what I want. What do you want? You want the Constitution, MLK? You want it not to be destroyed? Then you better fucking do something about it, right? Think, debate, share that information, talk about it. But have no doubts. Oh, no. Have a doubt. Shit has hit the fan, as evidenced by what you're seeing outside. Kyle Rittenhouse verdict? How do you like me now? Truly, folks, truly. From me and my brothers, right? We love all of you. All of you who are thinking, good, moral people. You know who you are. If you're a non-thinking, worthless, evil scumbag, I don't love you. You're not my brother. You're not my sister. And I don't want you to think, because you can't. But if you're a good person, a moral, decent American, or for that matter, a moral, decent, good person anywhere on the planet, right? Nothing but love for you, and I want the best for you, and I want you to think. I want you to think your way through this. SHTF, prepping, planning, how to deal with people the situations, the future, what's coming, technology, faith, belief systems, everything. Think, right? Chance favors the prepared mind. Chance favors the prepared mind. Couldn't be a truer statement, except in times like these. Are you prepared?